Welcome to the Entrepreneurial CPA Show. We're here to take the deep dive of the knowledge needed to break through the box and become the world-changing entrepreneur we know you want to be out there. As always, we're hitting you up with the theoretical and practical skills you need to punch above your weight. I'm Garrett, your head entrepreneurial thinker, and I'm here with the one and only man who knows it all, which is why they call him Dr. Blockchain, Dr. Sean. Today's show is brought to you by some amazing sponsors. Prolera, the ultimate tool to show you at your firm that CPE tracking doesn't have to be a grind, and nor should it. Hay and Rock Solutions, providing you the roadmap to advisory services. Take the guesswork out of making that leap. And finally, Accountify, who connects you with the cloud accounting jobs, remote jobs, and the most respected firms in the country. If you're a firm looking for help in hiring or a job candidate looking for that next job, they can help you out. On today's show, we're going to talk about a great topic. We're talking about what is new with ICOs, or initial coin offerings. So Dr. Bitcoin, why don't you kick us off?
Awesome, Garrett. Thank you for that. And so really the whole idea of an ICO is an area that is really fast moving and changing. So it's always important that before doing anything, internally or externally, right, whether a client or a customer, is to always, go back and to make sure that the information you have is actually still up to date, right? Because all of this whole area, and sort of frame the argument, right? Because all of us first heard about Bitcoin, and by all of us, I mean the bulk of us, right, heard about Bitcoin maybe 2017 maybe, but 2016 at the earliest. And so then the whole idea of a ICO, a initial coin offering, only really started entering the conversation at the end of 2017 and in 2018. But even though the idea of an ICO is a new one, there were over 900 individual different cryptocurrencies launched in 2017. 900. Just in 2017. But by the midpoint of 2018, right, by June-ish of 2018, over half of those currencies had failed, right? And so obviously this whole ICO market it should be a volatile one. But so how the ICO process works is, obviously, it's sort of built on the same model as an IPO, right? A initial public offering, which is basically when a firm goes out to the marketplace and then trades ownership in the company, and then the people who are getting that ownership pump in some cash, right? So it's basically cash for ownership, right? And I think all of us know that. It's a pretty basic idea. What the ICO does, though, is it adds that extra sort of layer into our conversation, right? One, anything that is issued via an ICO has to use blockchain, right? In order to issue any kind of cryptocurrency or a token, which I'll focus on next, all that has to be issued on that underlying backbone, blockchain. Okay, point two. If you are doing a ICO, you can either issue a fully fledged cryptocurrency or a token. And so the whole conversation on tokens is one that is kind of murky, right? Because in June of 2018, the SEC came out and sort of basically said that there are two buckets now of cryptocurrencies out there. And that over here in the first bucket, Bitcoin and Ether and XRP, those sort of older currencies that are really sort of out there and are owned by a huge number of individuals, those are going to be treated as a commodity. But that going forward, any new currencies or tokens launched via a ICO process are going to be treated as if they were equity securities, which is a big difference. And to just add on to that conversation, it's important to know that if you are doing business with anybody or have clients or customers, or even if your client has customers overseas or in other markets, every a country has their own way of treating both the individual currencies and the ICO process. So adding all of that stuff in there, basically the ICO market is a fast-moving and a fast-growing market, but there is still a high degree of uncertainty, basically, as to how the whole oversight function of the market is going to end up, right? And so, Garrett, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Toss it back this way. That's a great update there, Dr. Sean. There's a lot of stuff happening there. As for all of us kind of sitting in our firms and kind of wondering, like, what does this mean for me and my clients today? There's all this change coming. You mentioned the 900 that started. There's so few left. And sometimes we might kind of think, well, that just means this whole blockchain ICO thing's going to peter out and fail. But really, I think that's just what we're seeing now is what happens in every market when something new and disruptive comes in. It comes, it starts up, it gains momentum. You get a lot of players enter the market. Most of them fail. And then you get back to that established track record of, here's the ones that survived. Here's what's going to be there. So the takeaway is not, wow, there was 900 and half of them failed. This isn't going to last. This is going to last. We just kind of moved past that first bump in the innovation. We're here. So the biggest thing for you at your firm when you're talking to your clients, whether it's a business client or an individual client, ask them, hey, do you own any cryptocurrencies? Did you buy any cryptocurrencies? Did you buy something through an ICO? Because the ease of entering these markets gets easier by the day. So you might be surprised to find out that your clients have more of these type of cryptocurrencies than you expect. I would imagine most firms out there have several clients that have gotten into this. I think it's all over the media. I have a couple relatives that aren't tech savvy that I see every once in a while. They go, yeah, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin. I kind of say, how'd you do that? Well, it was pretty easy. I got this app on my phone and I bought some Bitcoin. What are you going to do with it? I don't know. I bought some Bitcoin and I sold it. What do I do? So these aren't, tech savvy people that are getting into this cryptocurrency craze. Yeah. So think about that. When you meet with your clients, we're heading into the fall, tax planning time, tax season time. You got to ask them, hey, do you have any cryptocurrency transactions? Did you do any ICOs? And this is the kind of knowledge that keep you fresh as you're going forward. So Dr. Sean, if they ask their clients, hey, if they have any ICOs, cryptocurrency, what advice should you give them kind of after asking that question? What's the follow-up to the clients to make sure they're treating it correctly in compliance with the IRS?
Sure. So probably the best piece of insight or advice that then I could offer, right? And the IRS guidelines could always change, right?
Oh, yeah.
Under the current rules, anytime a cryptocurrency moves, or it's issued, or it's sold, bought, used, moves, basically, that's a individual taxable item. And so really, if all that happened during the year is a purchase or a buy and hold or buy and then sell, then basically I would say, okay, fine, go back and then estimate, or ideally go and actually find out. But if you aren't able to go find out, estimate, right, your purchase price basis and then your exit price, right? But and I do know that there are some clients out there who are buying and they are selling and they are accepting Bitcoin as payment for services. If you are actually doing all of that action, then I would really stress to then go to a CPA or an EA and to have them sort of work with you to go find a online service firm that actually will help you go back and then analyze sort of what were the prices at those days in time, right? Because the IRS is focusing on this issue. I know there was a there was a note issued, right, that out of everyone who owned any sort of cryptocurrencies and then owed taxes on it, in 2017, I believe only 8% paid them. So obviously, the IRS is focused on this issue and is only going to be more involved in this area going forward. So really, the core piece of advice, if I could boil it down, is to make sure that for any cryptocurrencies that are owned, bought, sold, that you have some sort of information basis estimate, right, to help you sort of estimate how much taxes you are going to owe on it.
Interesting. And now, so Dr. Sean, to kind of wrap up here, so on ICOs, if I'm a CPA, if I'm an accountant, if I'm an EA out there, I've got a client that comes to me and says, hey, I'm thinking about doing an ICO, what advice would you give them besides just call Dr. Sean?
Well, I mean, obviously, right, the first piece is to always call me, right? But outside of that, I would ask them two things, right? One, why are they doing a ICO, right? Why aren't they doing a IPO? Why aren't they going to the bank? Other financing options out there. And then sort of depending on the answer there, right? Because if you're just doing the ICO to avoid taxes, then I would stress I don't want to be involved in it. But if you are doing a ICO for a business reason, then I would really work with your IT people, right? And your IT service firm, because don't forget, any ICOs are going to have to run on that blockchain platform. So if you're thinking of doing the whole ICO process, then really the actual first step for you is to make sure you and your firm have that underlying platform actually built out.
Very nice. That's some good advice there. So that's all the time we have for today. It's been a great update on ICOs. And I hope we stressed enough here through the process. ICO questions, call Dr. Sean, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is. He is your ICO guy. That's why they call him Dr. Blockchain. But we highlight this knowledge. This is the knowledge you need to be successful going forward. Moving past just the basic tax, the basic compliance. So if you're watching and you want to take that next step in your life, in your career, I'm talking to you watching today out there. Check out our Entrepreneurial CPA Group program. Become that entrepreneur we know you want to be. There's more details on our website. There's a link below. Check it out. I promise you'll love what you see. As always, click the button, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we challenge you today to take action to change the world and invest in yourself.